It's 2 days now before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and we are worried there's going to be trouble.
We were staying in Bethany, and as we were sitting at the table, a woman came in and said she wanted to anoint Jesus with precious ointment.
We were furious. The money it cost could have fed the poor for weeks.
But Jesus was cross with us and said the poor would be among us forever, but he might not be.
I saw Judas looking a little shifty, and then he disappeared.
We found a house in the city where we could eat the Passover supper.
We bought some food and then got on with making the meal.
Everyone had arrived by the evening, and we all sat down to supper.
We'd all been eating and chatting to each other when suddenly Jesus raised his voice.
Listen, everyone, I've something to say. Someone sitting around this table tonight is going to betray me and hand me over to the authorities.
We were all terrified.
We simply couldn't believe one of us would stoop so low. Then Jesus surprised us even more. He picked up a bit of bread and blessed it.
Then he broke it into little pieces and gave each of us a bit.
Take this and eat it. It's my body.
Then he picked up his glass of wine and blessed it.
Then he handed the wine round to each of us.
We all had a sip from it.
This wine is my blood. It's God's new covenant poured out for you all.
Then we sang a hymn, and then we went out of the city and across to the Garden of Gethsemane. Judas didn't come with us.
I have a feeling you're all going to run away and leave me. In fact, I know you will.
Peter swore he would never leave him, and we all said the same.
I think you'll find, Peter, that by the morning, before the cock crows twice, you'll have denied me 3 times.
Peter was really shocked. Then we all fell asleep. When we woke up, we could hear him praying.
Please, Father, if it's at all possible, please, I beg you to spare me the suffering I know is coming.
At that moment, Judas suddenly rushed in, and with him was a gang of men armed to the teeth with clubs and swords. He went up to Jesus and kissed him on the cheek.
As soon as Judas had kissed him, Jesus was arrested. I'm afraid we were so frightened, we just ran away.
But Peter followed Jesus to the home of the high priest. He sat down by the fire in the courtyard. A girl accused him of being a follower of Jesus, but he denied it 3 times.
Then he heard a cock crow. He was devastated.
When Jesus was taken before Pilate, he denied being king of the Jews, and then he just stayed silent.
Pilate said he could release one prisoner that day, and he asked the crowd which one it should be, Jesus or a real criminal called Barabbas.
The crowd yelled, "Barabbas!"
Pilate was furious and just washed his hands.
The soldiers took him away and thrashed him. Then they put a purple robe on him as if he was a king, and a garland of thorns on his head, and shouted at him, "King of the Jews!"
They took him to Golgotha, the place of the skull. And because he wasn't strong enough to carry his cross, they got a man from the crowd to help him.
They strung Jesus up on the cross and tried to give him vinegar mixed with water.
The soldiers started playing dice and dividing up his clothes.
There was a criminal on either side of him, and people were shouting at him, telling him to save himself.
And then, at noon, the whole place went completely dark, as if it was night time.
Then Jesus screamed,
Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me?
Then there was a terrible noise all around us.
We could see that the curtain in the temple had been torn in two from top to bottom.
At that moment, Jesus died. And then a centurion, who was standing nearby, threw himself down on the ground and started saying over and over again that Jesus really had been God's Son.